Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 6. We will presentation about species interaction. The member of Group 6 is me, Muhamad Hasan, with name 164, then Annisa Erikawati with name 168, and Gracela Nanda Puspita with name 169. In the life of every organism cannot be spared from the interaction. Interaction is a type of action that occurs when two or more living things affect or have an effect on one another. Every interaction that occurs will provide benefits or disadvantage that have an impact on each interacting organism. Species interaction are important in the ecology of a species. Within a community, there are a number of biotic and abiotic factors that influence species distribution, abundance, and interaction. Species interaction divided by two. There is a direct interaction and non-direct interaction. Direct interaction divided by 7. Number 1 is competition. When two species depend on certain resource in their environment, they compete with each other for this resource. Usually, the resources that are up for grabs are food. Besides that, there can also be shelter, nesting place, water source, sunlight, and so on. Number 2 is predation. According to Tiara, predation is an interaction between two or more species in which one party, the prey organism, while the other party, predator or prey organism, is lucky. Number 3 is herbivore. Herbivore are the main interaction process between animal and plant in general. Herbivore are beneficial to herbivores and detrimental to plant. Number 4 is parasitism. Parasitism is a relationship between organisms of different species. When one organism lives on another organism and takes food from its host or host so that it is detrimental to its host. Number 5 is disease. Disease is an association between a pathogenic microorganism and its host that cause the host to suffer physiologically.
Okay, number 6 is mutualism. Mutualism is a relationship between two organisms of different species which mutually benefit both parts. For example, rhizobium bacteria that live on nodule of the root of nut and flowers and pea. And number 7 is commensalism. Commensalism is an interaction or relationship between two or more species in which one part benefit and the other species is not harmed. For example, is commensalism are fence and orchid that live attached to tree. Next. And then indirect effect. Indirect interaction occur when the presence of a species affect other species without direct contact. For example, pollinators can augment plant reproduction sufficiently to compensate for herbivore, thereby indirectly affecting plant-herbivore interaction. Next. Okay, and then number 1 is indirect competition among herbivore. Herbivore feeding on above ground plants resource frequently deplete root resource through compensatory translation. Root feeding herbivore also can reduce above ground herbivore. Much research also has addressed indirect effect of plant defense included by early season herbivore on later colony and on decomposer. Next. Number 2 is indirect effect of plants on herbivory. Bedouin and Scott and Rhodes independently found evidence that damage by herbivore in communicate chemically among plants, leading to induction of defense in neighboring plants in advance of herbivory. Numerous studies have confirmed the introduction of chemical defense via applied foliate elicitors, particularly jasmonic acid, salicylic acid, and ethylene. And then number 3 is indirect effect of predator. Predator can impose a variety of indirect effect on other species. For example, the presence of a nearby predator can discourage foraging by potential prey or even non-prey. Trophic cascade affect the entire network of feeding interaction in the community. Next. Okay, and then number 4 is indirect effect of microorganism. Microorganism affect interaction involving insect in various ways. They can alter competitive interaction among plants in ways that affect herbivore, affect plant signaling pathway, or increase prey susceptibility to predator. Mesotoxins produced by mutualistic endophytic fungi complement host defense in gathering insect herbivore. The complex effect of insect herbivore and endophytic fungi on the competitive interaction among grass species. The complex effect of the insect herbivore and endophytic fungi and on the competitive interaction among grass species. Next.
Okay, the next is indirect effects of herbivores and on vegetation structure. Insect herbivores affect competition among host and non-host plant species. Separation of host plants provides opportunity for increased growth of non-host. Herbivores or seed predators also affect plant competition and coexistence in the same way that keystone predators maintain higher diversity of prey species. The probability of a seed being consumed by a generalist seed predator was a complex function of density, phenology, and spatial distribution of concept-specific, as well as heterospecific seed on Barrio Colorado Island, Panama. Resultant change in vegetation structure affect virtually all other community members indirectly via change in habitat condition, resource distribution, water and nutrition flux, and local climate. Next. Okay, the conclusion of this presentation, species interaction is a reciprocal relationship between organisms both from the same species and from different species. Interpopulation interaction can be grouped based on the mechanism of interaction or interaction effects. Usually, the research that are up for grabs are food, besides that there can also be shelters, nesting place, water source, sunlight, and so on. Based on the mechanism, interaction are divided into competition, predation, herbivore, parasitism, disease, mutualism, and commensalism. Indirect interaction have received less attention, but may be at least as important as direct effects in organizing communities. Indirect interaction occur when the presence of a species affects other species without direct contact. Next. Next. Okay, maybe that's all from us. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.